Alrighty, hello, everybody. I hope we're all doing well. I've got my hood up because I'm a little bit cold. Even though we have not had a cold winter by any stretch of the imagination, I know a lot of people have. Very rough winter, a lot of snow, a lot of cold. Locally, it hasn't been too bad, but I am still cold. So I've got my hood up for this video. And the scene isn't looking great. I have no idea how bad this is going to look on YouTube because obviously the camera's kind of squished and bordered. I forgot I hadn't set up a proper camera scene in OBS, and I just want to get this recorded. I can't bother to do one. So just kind of getting this done. It's February already. January 2026 has been a hell of a month. Personally, for the world. Very, I'll go with the word interesting. Because that's probably the most positive spin I can put on what's going on at the moment. But here we are. We have made it through January. We're into February. January is always typically on stream side a very quiet month, and that's definitely been true this January. We did make it through. I'm hoping to see a little bit of pickup in viewers, audience participation, and all that kind of stuff during February, but we'll see. February's typically not a great month either, but we'll see. But on a personal side, everything that's out of my control has been bad. Anything that's kind of in my control has been going okay. And I guess we will leap right into, hopefully I've still got the setup properly, the bingo card. So this was kind of to replace New Year's resolutions, kind of give me a whole host of stuff, whole host of different things to do. How many things were on this project? What's that? 5, 10, 15, 20. There's 25. The first one's a minute, so there's 24. So basically I need to be hitting 2 of these a month. And we've done quite well this month, honestly. On a couple of low-hanging fruits, I'm not going to lie. The middle one, which is already covered, which is this one, is make a bingo card. That was fairly easy. And then the one next to it, play some Overwatch, was also always going to happen, and we managed to do that one as well. The first big one, which we already ticked off, is finish Where is Annabelle? Now, finish is first draft. You will see there's also an edit and then a release. These will come much later on in the year. But I did finish the initial draft, and it's long. It's a long, very wordy story. The first draft has come in at just over 700,000 words. I will be splitting it. I don't know how I will be splitting it and how that's going to look. And that's going to then, make some changes on how I'm going to edit and how I'm going to release. But I kind of finished it in kind of like the first 2 weeks of January. I've been working on it for the pretty much the latter half of 2025 as well. So I've been writing this for a while in the background. So yeah, it's done. The first draft is done. I haven't looked at it since I finished it. I haven't read it since I finished it. I think I'm going to split it into 3 parts because there is kind of there's Frank's tale, there's Little Red Riding Hood's tale, and there is Annabelle's tale. All taking place over the same time period, but I think I am just going to split it by character. So you'll go from day 1 to day 520 for Frank, and then we'll skip into book 2, which will be read. The stories are pretty much separate. There are a few times they cross over. And honestly, I think these are going to be the interesting ones. And I think splitting it this way, in my mind, it goes Frank, Red, Annabelle. Annabelle's always going to be last. Frank and Red, I don't know. I think it makes sense to go Frank first because the crossovers between Frank and Red and Frank and Annabelle, I can kind of leave a little bit of a mystery in the Frank story and then explain them more with Red and Annabelle. Annabelle's kind of crossovers, which will go in the final book, kind of illuminate a lot of what happens. Not a lot, but some of what happens in both of those. So the plan will be that each book will feel standalone. We're telling Frank's tale, we're telling Red's tale, we're telling Annabelle's tale, but with a few open-ended questions a few points that you may kind of get, oh, that's kind of, that's kind of answered, but, not really. And then we'll kind of jump into Annabelle's and then hopefully you'll explain it a little bit more. My main concern is that the style for each of those books is going to feel very different, but I think that also makes more sense to split it by character than to do, say, day 1 to day 200, 201 to 400, and then, and tell everyone's tale at the time. Frank's tale is very much detective noir pulp fiction-y. I don't mean as in the movie, I mean as in pulp fiction. Red's story is more action orientated, and Annabelle's story honestly is kind of more psychological horror. Still with humor and still with kind of these underlying elements, but it's going to be interesting. Again, let's use the most positive word I can think of. Is it going to be good? I don't know, but it will be interesting. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Once I've decided on the split, I will probably then edit book 1, book 2, book 3, and we will release book 1, book 2, then book 3. Obviously, releasing book 3 first would be bizarre, but maybe. And then in terms of bingo, the edit and the release will be for book 1 rather than the thing as a whole, just to kind of complete the card. The plan is to start editing that around the middle of February. I kind of want to leave it, dump most of what I've written from my mind, so I can then come back and read it as fresh as I can, being the one who has written it, and put it all together. Got to get that, even that full word count split between 3 books is very long. So, try and get that way down, get rid of a lot of the chaff, and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of the big one for 2025. I did not expect to finish the first draft in January, I'll be honest. So I think that's really, really good. And yeah, like I say, I will give progress updates as I carry on with that process, but that's where we are on that one. We have completed a couple of other things as well on the bingo card in January, which I think is fantastic. One of them is I lost a stone. I lost a stone in weight. Okay, a stone in weight when you're as big as me isn't a huge accomplishment, but I did manage to do it, and I've managed to keep it off since I lost it. In fact, I've lost more than a stone now, so that's good. And we ticked it off. I like it, right? That's good. That's good. And I think that also means no, I'll leave that for the end, but in terms of, no, I'm going to leave it to the end. I'm going back to what you were just saying. When you said you're going to leave it to the end, I'm going to leave it to the end. So the other thing that I have done as well, at least in first draft form, sports ball rules. They're done. They're done. Okay, they're going to need editing. They're going to need a lot of work. They make sense to me. If I gave them to somebody else, they'd probably look at it and think it was hieroglyphics. I said hieroglyphics wrong. I said it wrong the second time as well. I don't care. We're just going to carry on. So, yes, they're done in a playable state. So the plan for sports ball rules now. So I have played one round by myself, taking turns all the different players, etc., etc. And it's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. I've yet to play a full game, but I think what I'm going to do to approach this and move sports ball on is I will record a video of me playing probably just a round, because the rounds at the moment are taking a very long time because I'm thinking about all of the rules. I'm explaining everything and my thought process. And I will do that again in the video that goes through the sports ball rules. So it'll probably just be a round rather than an entire game. I will then do a video where I'm not explaining what's going on and try to get through a full game. I haven't done a full game yet, so I don't know if it should be however many rounds it's meant to be, or if it should be more, it should be less. I still need to go through that. There's still things to improve, but the general rules are there. And then once I've done a video of myself going through it, I then need to work out a way of being able to play this with other people. And I think LP has volunteered to kind of be my first alpha tester of the game, which where he can rip apart the rules and say, no, this is rubbish, and then we'll decide if we're going to go on from there. Bear in mind, Sports Ball is being designed for two reasons. One, hopefully it'll be a fun game to play. Two, to feed what I had called CVA, which will now maybe going through a load of different names. But we'll get rid of the bingo card when I start to talk about that. But that's it. That is what we have done on the bingo card so far. So we've managed to complete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've managed to complete a fifth of the bingo card in a month, and that's not bad. The most likely looking bingo, because again, you've got corners, lines, diagonals, and then the whole card. The most likely looking bingo, I think, kind of looking for it right now, minus the smoking stream, I think the one with Design Cakey City and Drink Some Nice Wine is probably the most likely, the first one we're going to kick off. Finish Satisfactory is going to take a while, although on that, if you're watching this on the 1st of Feb or the week of the 1st of Feb, we are going into on stream a factory week, so hopefully we can make some progress on that. We're getting quite far. We've got nuclear power. We haven't built any nuclear power yet, but we've unlocked the technology. So hopefully we'll make some more progress on that. But I'm not really thinking of finishing Satisfactory till somewhere probably around the middle of this year, if we keep on going that long. Edit Where Annabelle is going to take a lot longer. CVA Season 1. Season 1 release, probably not by February. I think it might be a good thing that we've kind of front-loaded this, because I think February we may end up not ticking a single one of these off. Maybe Design Cakey City, or at least the principles around it. And record a Sports Ball vid we might get done as well. So maybe, but everything else, and maybe get that walk to 1 hour. I'm at 1 hour, 2 minutes now, so we're pretty close. Pretty darn close. But let's switch back from the bingo card to this one here. The bingo card may look better, I don't know. But I do want to talk about a couple more things before I head off. CVA, Cakeverse Adventures, Town, Cakeverse News, whatever the hell it's going to end up being called, I do not know. But I have been making progress on it. So Cakeverse Adventures was going to be more of a kind of story, little bit of town, Hoverworld news, and then back to the story. I'm kind of getting rid of the story bit, and I've kind of pivoted more to trying to tell stories purely through the kind of news thing, right? It's been interesting to me just getting to realize just how much of the world I only know because of the news, right? And I think trying to replicate that for a fantasy world, so the only way you're going to know about the updates and the stories is through the news. And like one of the ones I was thinking of, which I won't do for Town because I do want it to be based more in whatever we generate. You know, one of the ones I was thinking of, and I may do as part of the testing scenario, is how would Frodo Baggins taking the ring to Mordor over the Lord of the Rings, how would that have been reported in the news over, you know, however many weeks it would have taken for that to happen if it was being tracked by the news at all? And I think that, to me, that idea intrigues me. I don't know if it's going to be fun. I don't know if it's going to be good, but I'm intrigued by it. And so I'm kind of working my way through it. And I'm also coming at it from the approach that I kind of want the development and production values to improve, hopefully improve as seasons go on, because hopefully it'll become more popular and I'll be able to put more time and effort into it and money into it, you know, to get where I envision this ending up. Money is going to have to be spent, money that I do not have right now. But as a spoiler, if this works, this is kind of what it looks like right now, right? This is the setup for the Otherworld news reports. Let's go back to this. So, and again, kind of doing this kind of janky look is all part of it. Again, this is what I can achieve right now, and then hopefully we can get better. And it won't just be the look. One of the hardest things I'm having is going back to writing jokes, right? And just write. I've done a 700,000 word novel. That's a type of writing. Writing jokes and kind of short, snappy, news bulletin-esque copy has been, again, interesting, and it has been fun to go back to. The first season is going to be rough. I have no doubt about that, but I'm hoping that a first season will lead to a second season and improvements across the board. So that's kind of where we are now. The intention is to get a rough first idea out to Patreons sometime during February. I want to get it out during the first 2 weeks of February, because I kind of want to have that test out before I dive back into Where's Annabelle and the editing process for that. The idea is that I can do the two in parallel, and I think that will work out quite well. But there's kind of a lot of building and ideas that kind of needs to go into it before it's just something that I can just concentrate on the writing and the recording. So that's kind of where I am now with the CVA stuff. Other big projects that I can talk about at the moment, I don't think there's any. Stream-wise, we still have a lot of new games that I need to try. I don't want to start The Last Caretaker until Satisfactory is either finished or I've decided we're going to take a longer pause from it. The problem with taking a longer pause from Satisfactory basically entails that I think that probably means I've given up on this run, right? And I don't want to. I want to finish Satisfactory and I want to get it done. So I don't want to start a game like The Last Caretaker until Satisfactory is finished, and kind of The Last Caretaker can kind of slide into the Satisfactory spot. Overwatch 2 will be there. It's a good fallback game. I think it's getting a little bit boring now. I think the slightly lazy endorphins of the perk system have worn off. The new hero is honestly not that good. And I think they've kind of taken their foot off the gas pedal a little bit too soon on Overwatch. It'll be interesting to see if they start to put more effort, take effort away from Stadium and put it back into the main game. Be even more interesting to see if they try to make 6v6 come back. Now, at the moment, 6v6 is open queue, and although I didn't like it when they introduced closed queue, I'll be honest, I do kind of prefer it. I'm sure open queue with a group would be fine because you can kind of talk between yourselves and work out what is needed. But I play with randos, and that's not so good, Earl. Other games that will be around, Dead Zone Rogue has been an absolutely fantastic find. Probably, unless it's played in a group, probably coming towards the end of my solo play, at least for now, on stream. The game definitely has some issues. My main issue with it is it feels like 4 separate games. You've got Zone 1, Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4. And they each have different power-ups and systems you can add, which just means that Zone 4, because of the different power-up synergies and the little whatever it is, workbench, whatever it's called, those runs are just more fun in Zone 4 than going back to Zone 1 where you have as weapons and abilities, right? And I think there's kind of a misplay. My main issue with Zone 4 is the cutscene in the middle of a run. Well, at the end of a run, it's kind of just before the final boss, but it's an unskippable cutscene. And in a game that's meant to be repeated, I think putting an unskippable cutscene in is just honestly dumb. I don't think there's a nicer way of putting that. I think that was a poor design choice. But very fun game, great fun in a group. And the modes are very replayable. I just think from a stream point of view, I don't think it's a game that I will stream Maybe when they bring it, I think they are thinking of maybe a Zone 5, or maybe just tightening up the existing zones and making Endgame a little bit more interesting. So seeing if they pull that off will be very interesting to watch. I did pick up and try Hytale. It's Minecraft. If you're already playing Minecraft, I don't know why you would play Hytale, other than it just feels a little bit different. But I'm hoping that they will add more of the kind of Hytale RPG elements into the standalone Hytale experience. Minecraft is great as an open-ended survival sandbox. Minecraft is terrible as a game. Quote unquote. You know, the whole going into the Nether and the Ender Dragon stuff to me just feels very bad. I know a lot of people like it, and that's fine, but I don't like it. So if Hytale can kind of add more of those RPG elements into a Minecraft, Hytale at the moment feels very much like Minecraft mixed with Valheim. The crafting system is a lot simpler. The combat is more interesting. But there's not a lot there. It's a very big open world, which a lot of people like. I don't. I like, if it's a big open world, I like a lot of stuff in my big open world. Hytale feels empty. And I'm hoping they can fill it up a little bit more as time goes on. But for now, if you like Minecraft, you already own Minecraft, I wouldn't pick up Hytale for now. It's got potential though, for sure. The other game I tried, I didn't even try this one on stream, was Highguard. From Respawn, Apex Legends developers, and I think a few other studios as well. They've managed to design what I would call the most boring game I've played in a long, long time, apart from the 30 seconds every 5 minutes where it's actually fun. And I think it's a real shame, because I think it's a game that's got good bones, got good combat. The mounted combat is surprisingly competent. Gunplay feels good. The hit detection is rubbish with the gunplay, which makes it feel bad. And the whole kind of running around the middle, mining and not getting into fights so you can go and grab the big sword to break the other shield. Once you're doing the raids, it's fun. There's lots of gunplay, but the raids themselves are kind of unbalanced and stupid. And some of the heroes, I didn't play a lot of the heroes, but some of the heroes, because we've got the hero powers, are way more overpowered than others. And I think I read some of that. Basically, there's one who does like a big ice shield. Take him into the middle, plant the bomb into your ice shield, and basically there's nothing the opponents can do. You just win. So yeah, I think they've managed to put out a game that has no real great selling point to it. So I don't think it's going to tear people away from what they're already entrenched in, right? And not just gameplay wise now, just how much money you put in for skins, etc., into these games. And that's why Fortnite is lasting so long. Overwatch as well. I played Highguard, and I would rather go back and play more Overwatch than play more Highguard. It had nothing that was kind of like, I can see how if they develop this, it will get better. To me, I just think the gameplay loop itself is a lost cause. And I think it's probably too late for them. I know they've already brought in 5v5 as a limited time mode, but I still don't know if people are going to go in and find that more fun. I don't think more people is the core issue with Highguard. I think it's the gameplay loop. I don't think more people, it can't hurt, but I don't think it's going to fix the issues with it. Which is a shame, because like I said, I think kind of, if they could fix the hit detection on the guns, I think from that element, they've got a very sound beginning. And like I said, I think the raids kind of element is also kind of interesting, the kind of Rainbow Six Siege, but with more dynamic, with more a feeling of kind of Valorant, or even Call of Apex, I guess, for the combat. I think could be really interesting, but you've got to keep the combat up pretty much 24/7, as long as the matches are going to go, I think, to really get people hooked on Highguard. And without them removing a lot of what they obviously think is good in the game, I don't think they're going to convince many players to stick around. I may be wrong. I may be wrong. Only time will tell. I don't think we tried anything else new on. Oh, we tried Vane, which again I know a lot of people are playing and enjoying, but it's incredibly janky. The multiplayer didn't work particularly well, and I don't think we'll ever be going back to it. I can see how you can have fun in it, kind of, but it's not a. To me, it wasn't a very competent game and did not inspire confidence to kind of play more. I think that about covers it for what new we covered on stream. In terms of what we'd like to play in February, Satisfactory all next week. Like I said, Overwatch was going to be there in the background if I've had a bad day and I can't use my mind. Overwatch is just a great backup game to have. It's also still the game that is watched the most on my channel, so that's not why I play it, but you know. And Power Wash Simulator 2 we'll also keep on playing probably on Fridays until that is done. It's been very enjoyable. The planetarium or observatory one we did on Friday, some of the repetitiveness of that particular building got a little bit too much, but I'm still along for the ride. It's still incredibly relaxing, and I still think it's a very enjoyable game. And I guess anything else that might tickle my fancy. Again, we do have Expedition 33. I'm well out of the refund window now, so when I do start that now, I will try and finish it. But again, I kind of don't want to jump into something like that until Satisfactory is done. I want Satisfactory out of the way, because I feel something like Expedition 33 is something you're going to want to go back to day after day after day, not kind of play it on a Tuesday and then maybe go back to it Tuesday after that. I kind of feel, because it's a very story driven game, it kind of, I want to get interested and I kind of want to feel like I want to go back. So yeah, probably until Satisfactory is out of the way. Probably won't dive into that anytime soon. I want to, but I also want to get Satisfactory finished, and I don't want to lose the wood for the trees. I really don't think that's an expression. And then I'm also toying around with the idea of doing a couple new merch ideas. I want to replace the cup. I like this cup. I've had this cup ever since I did. I honestly have no idea how many years I've had this cup and this mug. But I would like a second piece of cake mug. It will probably look a lot like this one, but not with the one thing I never realized about this mug, because I was an idiot and I didn't read the things properly, which I never do, is I didn't realize it was one of these mugs that had this heat thing. So it only looks good when there's something hot in it. I didn't realize that when I made it, when I ordered it. So I kind of want to do one that's more simple, just with the face on the side. And then I'm also thinking of a very simple baseball cap as well. That's good coffee. I'm hoping, well, I'll have to check, see if Patreon has paid out. I'm hoping there will be enough extra there that I can kind of pick up some samples, get them sent to me, see if I think they're good quality. The trouble with doing all of this merchandise stuff is it always comes out incredibly expensive. And if I want to make money, I mean, it's expensive anyway, but if I then want to make money from it as well, it's even more expensive. So it's why I haven't done a lot of merch in the past, because I honestly feel the price that I would ask people to pay through these services to kind of make it worthwhile for me is always too high. But I'll see with these. I'll see if they look good quality enough, and then I'll see what the margins are, the scope is for on the site, in terms of how much it costs if I make nothing from it, and how much I would need to put on if I wanted to make something from it. And we'll go from there. But I'm very tempted to, I mean, I will do them purely just for the kind of stuff for me. And then depending on the price and if people like the look of the stuff, when I get it, then, I put it up for sale and see what happens there. Other than that, I think that basically covers it. Like I said, we did well on bingo in January. February, I think, is going to be a lot slower. I will be honest, I would be very happy if I get my glasses replaced in February because these glasses are bad. They're not broken like the last ones I had to get replaced, but the lenses are so scratched and scuffed. It's not a fun time. So like of all the ones that just need money on the bingo card, glasses is going to be the first one. The bike I can service myself to a degree to keep it running. But yeah, sadly I can't make my own lenses yet. That'd be an interesting few streams as I try to learn how to make lenses for glasses. Would it be interesting? Probably not. I've changed my mind on that one. And I'm not going to go into the shed and the living situation in this update video because I'm trying to keep it more upbeat. But suffice to say, it's gone downhill, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, I think that kind of covers everything I wanted to cover in this update video. I've just realized with the hood up, sometimes I look incredibly insane. I don't think it's the hood doing that. And yeah, like I say, I'm hoping to get a lot of stuff out in February, the first CVA. Oh, looping back round to CVA, or whatever it's going to be. So there will be the video portion, which will be Chad Buckingham. He's the anchorman, and I think I ended up calling her Sally, the weather lady. Will be the kind of ones appearing in those videos. But there are two other characters who are important. Carol, who Chad will talk to a lot, but there's no response. You can't hear her in the videos. And then there's also Kyle, the intern. Producer Carol, I will be toying around with and putting out, at least to begin with, a kind of producer's diary, which will be on Patreon first, and then I may put it up somewhere else afterwards. Kind of telling her side of the story and what's going on kind of in the background. And then I'm toying with the idea. I want to do something with Kyle as well. Kyle, the intern. He may make some brief appearances, but he will never talk on the actual video portion. But he will be doing a lot of stuff. And I may do the occasional Kyle's diary or Kyle's adventures. Again, those will probably, Carol and Kyle's adventures will probably both be in written form to begin with. It's just kind of like an extra thing to do around the kind of town, CVA, CVN, whatever I end up calling it. Nonsense. I think that's the only asterisks I needed to add to this. Yes, I'm just going to wrap up. Hopefully I've covered everything I wanted to cover. Hopefully your January has gone well. Hopefully, even if it has, hopefully February will be better. And I hope to see you all around on stream and all the various places. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. And I will see you all when I see you all. Bye for now.